What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm here with Steven, member of the Diginerds. He's going to be profiling his top 16 Gabu Bond deck from the Miami Digifest event. Go ahead, take it away, Steven.
Alright, hello. So first here we have our 4 Ubamons. It's just a generic draw one when your opponent plays a card with no sources. So your Bokomons that just stay on board, you're guaranteeing to create some advantage just from drawing cards. Then we have our 1 of Kiaromon. It's when you trash a source, you draw a card. It's not as consistent in this deck, but sometimes it does come off, especially when you play Tommy, Howling Memory Boost. The extra draw does come into play. Then next we have our options. We have 4 Hammer Spark, 2 Howling Memory Boost, and 1 Ice Wall. I rarely got to use Ice Wall, but when I did, it did stall for me to proceed to win on the next turn. I loved Hammer Spark because, you know, Hammer Spark hybrid game is a consistent thing. And Howling Memory Boost just to stall for a turn usually can win the game as well. And next we have our Tamers. We have 3 Davis. He's a searcher. Sets you to 3, so it's very consistent there. And you have Sora and Joe. This is also punishes the Pokemon plays, the Nemons, because cards with no sources gain you 2 memory. The true MVP Tamer, though, is Matt. At 4, starting your turn with 6 memory and going into a Gobblebond because you have 3 on board is pretty impressive, and your opponent really can't stop that. And then our last Tamer is 3 Tommy. On play, trash 3 sources is really big in the red matchup, but the most important part is his inheritable on attack. A Digimon without sources cannot attack or block the next turn. And,
a lot of Tamers.
yes, there is... I can't count. 12 Tamers. So basically, in a hybrid format, they are also rookies, so that's also relevant. Next, we have our rookies. We have 4 BT6 Gabumon. He says if you go into Bond of Friendship with him, your Bond of Friendship can swing 3 times in a turn. Add 2 rounds where turn 2, I went Gabumon, promote, Matt, go to 2 memory, Hammer Spark, Bond of Friendship. I'm at 3 security, they're at 2. They have nothing on board. I have 2 Tamers or a Tamer and a rookie, and I'm still ahead while they're trying to catch up on the game. Then we have 4 EX1 Gobumons. He searches for Gobumons and Tamers. So you Evo on him, swing. If it doesn't die, great, but you do get a search off, and he searches your Gobumons or your Tamers. Then we have 2 Stravimon. He's just on play, check top 3, add a blue Tamer and a hybrid to your hand. Then we have 3 Gabumons that are just on play, draw 1. This just generates advantage, and if you have to play it, it adds another card to your hand. Then we have 1 Modeki Betamon and 1 Suyakomon. Suyakomon makes it so you can't Evo the level 5 hybrids for cheap. And Modoki's just your consistent memory blocker.
Were those even relevant, do you feel like,
yes,
in a lot of matchups?
These 2 are how you stop not only green, but any hybrid deck, because this shuts off Pokemon, and Suyakomon shuts off Jet Selfiemon Recovery for 1, Beowulf Evo for 1, and Aldamon Evo for 1, and Rikimon. So lots of decks in the current meta. Then in our level 4s, we have 4 Kumamon. This is the typical way we would trigger Kiaromon. You Evo, trash something for 2. Evo for 2, trash something, draw 1. Then you have our Korikakumon. He says when you Evo on top of a hybrid or a Tommy, you can stun a card with no sources. They usually don't, and that card's usually stunned, giving you plenty of memory for your Sora and Joes. And then you have the 1 of Kendo Garurumon just to bounce pesky rookies, memory blockers. Pokemon, sometimes if you want to set your opponent back, that's probably the best way to do it. I did it and stalled enough turns for me to win. Then we have 4 level 5s that are all Beowulfmon. On attack, bounce a hybrid from source to hand, and then you can bounce a level 4 or lower on their board. Last but not least, we have 3 Gabumon, Bond of Friendship. This is just your big guy, your big closer. If your hybrids can't get over them, Bond of Friendship usually can. And he usually just swings 3 times, and it's usually for game, not much they can do about it. And then we're off to the sideboard. I didn't really plan much for this sideboard, and I do regret it. I think if I would have planned more, I would have had better matchups. I put another Sora and Joe, another Tommy, very good Tamers, an extra Howling Memory Boost, The Wing Blade would have been more crucial against Purple Yellow when they had a Dynasmon on board. I couldn't really remove it, and it stood there, and I couldn't really chip them for game. Then we have another Sayakumon and another Modoki Vetamon. They're just better here because you can always use one more than the other depending on your matchup. Then we have our last Bond of Friendship here. If you ever needed it to go off, and this is your one way to win, having the fourth made it consistent. Then we had one Avenged Kidmon just for the Three Musketeers matchup if it was ever.
Did you ever play Three Musketeers?
I did not, but it was always a card you could sideboard. And then I had two Neo Devi. I never used this card, it was a waste of space, but it was there if I ever needed it. I do regret putting it in here though.
Okay.
And then our tournament recap, our first round we played Purple Yellow. I got O2'd because my deck bricked the entire way through and I could not play the game. And then we played X Antibody. I 2-0'd him real quick. I took Bond of Friendship turn 2 both games. It was very brutal. And then I played another Purple Yellow. I 2-0'd that. And then I played against a Red Blue Suzanomon Rookie Rush. He just played 4 of every hybrid rookie and tried to swing for game into Suzanomon. I killed him before he got there. Because bouncing rookies and not letting them swing and go to trash, kind of important there. And then I played against an Eismon Rush, Christmas Green. That was probably the most intense matchup, but that's where Sayakumon came and clutched the most.
Is that Jeff?
Yes, it was Jeff.
Jeff, you did good. Unfortunately,
and then
you
I
lost.
played against Red Hybrid. He went in, swung security with Ancient Greymon, and then Tommy was the first check, so he swung for 1 security.
So
and
you ended day 1, what, X1?
I went X1. My only losses that day was when I got 2-0'd. I gave first round and then I ran the gauntlet and 2-0'd every one of my opponents the rest of the day.
So just that first game loss was round 1.
And then top 16, my deck bricked both games, so I could not continue this adventure with Bond of Friendship.
Oh, well, it's still an impressive showing. I mean, there were over 500 players.
I was impressed. There was 3 Bonds of Friendship all next to each other. I was the only one who won a final round. So I'm really proud I brought my friend all the way to the top.
Do you know how many other Bonds decks made it to top 16?
There was only the one Bond deck, yep, and then the rest all lost in the top.
Okay.
They were all top 32.
Alright, well, I appreciate the profile. Guys, let us know what you think in the comment section down below. And as always, thanks for watching.